Hi, I'm Robert Begley, day 453 of my video challenge. It is Friday, which is Impromptu Friday, where I normally send my buddy Antonio a text message and he sends me a question that I have to answer on the spot. Guess what? Antonio's not around today. So I have a dear friend who's going to come in, Michael, and he's going to ask me a question of which I have no idea what he's going to say, and I'm going to try to give my answer in like 2 minutes. So, what is the question?
Okay, so first of all, to ask this question, it involves the smartphone, probably the most ubiquitous device in our society today. And it's a two-part question, but I feel like I need to give you just a little bit of background first. Being a senior citizen, I tend to be nostalgic. And I think all the way back to the days when telephones actually had cords and we didn't even have push buttons and the like. I'm not a technophobe. I do embrace technology and I love all the great things that it does for us, but I see a time and a place for these types of devices. And what I also have observed over the years is the intense deterioration that I see mainly in the young adults, but also in mature adults as well, when it comes to interpersonal interaction. Because of these devices, people spend all of their time, it seems, as the only means of communication. Everything's electronic. They've started to lose all their interpersonal skills and the ability to have a face-to-face conversation. So that I was going to ask as part A of that question, how you might address this with somebody and get them to be more of a person that wants to have, live contact on a regular basis with their friends, with their peers, with other people that they have contact with in business. And the other aspect to this is that we all use these tools a lot for research, but it's real easy to type into a Google search bar a question and just get an answer, but that answer could have hints of truth in it, some parts that are based in reality and fact, and other things that are literally outright propaganda. So I wanted to ask you what modalities you use to research any given topic to make sure that the information that you receive is really on the mark, is truly accurate.
Okay, wow. So question number one, how do you maintain interpersonal skills in a digital era where we can do things on YouTube as we're doing now? And actually, I'm literally doing that today because I've never even met my friend Antonio, who we text for years now. He's a speaking coach like me, but I know Michael for 7 years, and because he's here, I'm like, you know what? Let's change this up. Let's do this personally, which is already a benefit. Now, you did say you're older,
correct,
and therefore you're more experienced. That your whole life has been based more interpersonal. But you've seen the adjustment from needing to write a letter to sending an email to now just doing a FaceTime equivalent or a Zoom call, and it degrades the experience goes down the more you're dependent on electronics, the effectiveness, in sales as well. Michael's a very successful salesman, and it's being there in person. So where I am now in Florida, I try to see as many people as I can, but there are, my family. I can't see my family in New York City as closely. So I use the other tools that are available. I make regular calls. I'll set up Zoom calls. And as long as my short answer is, as long as there's some kind of outreach with the intention to make it eventually personal and in person, that to me, that's always going to be the goal, because that's the height of human interaction, which is in person. I'll just, before I go to part two, my last point on this is public speaking, which I love doing, but it's been closed. That for at least a better part of the year. So I learned about the Zoom experience, and Zoom is not going away. So I might as well try to figure out the best way to do Zoom, with the agreement that eventually I want to be speaking in front of live audiences, which I have been doing. And again, there's no comparison between the two. So that's part A.
Okay.
Part B, on the technology, especially like just doing Google searches, the first thing which you somewhat alluded to, or at least I think needs to be addressed, is what we call digital dementia. When we were kids, we had to remember a phone number. Okay, we 718-720-7630 was my first phone number I ever remember. 212, New York City, 538-6118. 646. I can just rattle them off because I dialed them so many times. But with a cell phone, I actually do know Carrie Ann's number, but I don't need to. I don't know your number. I don't know
Right.
mom's number. So this is digital dementia. When I drive, if I know where I'm going, I try not to use the GPS because I want to remember. I have to make a turn here, and so that's one way to keep your memory alive, especially as you get older. It's easy to become more dependent on on these digital devices. Now, regarding news sources, there's so much unreliability out there. There is so much, they have this meme saying, it has a picture of Abraham Lincoln, and it says, don't believe everything you read on the internet. It's a quote from Lincoln. And
Very true.
yeah, but Lincoln never said that statement, But if you Google search Lincoln meme, don't believe, you'll see that. And people who are gullible and don't know primary sources from secondary sources, biased reporting from unbiased reporting. This is where it definitely gets to be more granular. And I don't have Wikipedia is one thing for like historical information. So I go there or even a Google search, and I always look at the source where it pops up first. So here's an example. I love heroes. I do the hero show. If I type in just heroes, Google search heroes, you're going to see 50 names of people you never heard of. But Google wants you to know those people. And George Washington's name will not be there. Christopher Columbus will definitely not be there. These guys are heroes. Google wouldn't exist if those heroes didn't do what they did. So that bothers me. And it's implied in your question. It somewhat bothers you as well.
Yeah.
So find sources that you can see. What I do is I look for sources that I know and trust and can verify. Okay, I can verify that they're actually true. So that's 5 minutes. I tried to do this 7 minutes where but anyway, thank you for this impromptu, and we'll see you tomorrow, day 454, and we might bring Michael back if he's up for it. He's had a few questions that he's been ready for me. So anyway, we'll see you then. Signing off. And stream. That's it.
Okay, cool.
All right.